host, Daddyman.
Hey there, Mutant family. It is Friday night. I am your favorite Daddyman in the kitchen. That can only mean one thing. It is time for this week's Mutant Cafe Live. Welcome to November, Giallo Month. Halloween, sadly, is over, but the horror goodness continues in the Mutant Cafe. All month long, we are going to be celebrating the Italian genre of Giallo. Giallo, for those of you that are not familiar, is a prototype of the American slasher genre. It originated in Italy, and tonight we are going to be making a spicy chicken curry, which is yellow. And then afterwards, at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, we're going to jump on Shudder, and we're going to tweet along with all of the Mutant family to Dario Argento's Tenebrae. So, let's get started. Pale ale. Let's go over the ingredients, as we always do. We got 2 to 3 tablespoons of coconut oil. If you do not have coconut oil, you can use an olive oil. We're using a coconut oil because we are later going to put in coconut milk so the flavors kind of meld together and taste good together. 1 large sweet onion, 1 pound of chicken breast, 3 cloves of garlic, 2 to 3 teaspoons, of ground or 1 teaspoon of fresh ginger. That's what that is. 2 teaspoons of ground coriander, 1 13-ounce container, they come in a can, of coconut milk, 1 to 1.5 cup of shredded carrots, and we are going to shred those live, so don't worry if you don't have them shredded yet, they do take a while, 1 to 3 tablespoons of curry paste, nice bright red or yellow curry paste, 3 cups of fresh spinach. It seems like a lot, but it is going to go down. 8 ounces of peas. 1 tablespoon of lime juice, which is about 1 to 2 limes. These are small. I've got 2 just in case. 1 to 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. 1/4 cup of basil, which is a nice big handful. And salt and pepper. And then you're going to need either rice, quinoa, or naan to serve this with if you want, not absolutely necessary. So let's get the ingredients to the side and get cooking. We got a lot to do tonight. So let's get going. Get these off to the side. All these carrots. Grab my knife. First thing we're going to do is the onion. Alright, let's get the onion, or let's first get your oil in the pan. Get that pan on, medium-high heat. Get that in there. Onion, feel like we do it every week. Cut the bottom. Cut through the core end, so it keeps that onion intact. Pull up that skin. You guys should be getting good at doing an onion at this point. You should be able to recite it in your sleep like I do. Get that skin off there. If you have any questions, joining us again for his second week in the Mutant Cafe is the Hubs. If you have questions, he is J60660 in the chat room right now. Feel free to ask away, comments, questions, whatever, he will answer. Alright, here we go. We're going to go on the horizontal, both pieces. And then we're going to go vertically. Medium dice this time, you don't have to be as small as last week because this is going to cook down in the pan. Hard to go sideways, but I realize that you guys cannot see what I'm doing. So this is what you're doing. You're going this vertically. Perfect. And then back down. sort of like stir fry. Very flexible. You can add lots of different vegetables to a curry, lots of different meats. The only common ingredient in a curry, to be honest, is curry paste. Nice and spicy. Curry can be Indian, curry can be Thai, depends on the recipe. This is kind of a mix, to be honest. I've changed it up a little bit. Started as a Thai curry, added some Indian elements. Okay, got that onion chopped up. Hopefully you are with me. Let's get that in the pan. A lot of onion. Gonna cook down. There's that sizzle you want. Next up, we're gonna go for the chicken breast. And it occurred to me, I think we've done chicken yet, or raw meat of that type. You should have in your kitchen, if you don't already, you never want to cut raw meat on a wooden board. There's a lot of food-borne bacteria, so you want to get yourself a plastic board and the board that you only use for raw meat. That's what that board is. A lot of people have a white board or a red board for the meat, a green board for the vegetables. That's a good way to keep track of which is which. I've got all the chicken breasts. This is about a pound section, a little more than a pound. I'm going to stack these in 2 stacks. And you're really just going to want to cut this lengthwise. And then you're going to want to turn your board at 90 degrees and go lengthwise again. Go a little bigger than a bite size because it's going to cook down just slightly. Alright. Shut off to the side, and we're going to do the same thing with this chicken breast stack. Lengthwise. There we go. Turn it. There you go. That is all chicken breast. Take this plate in the sink, wash your hands, and wash your knife.
So Quinn Bell has a question.
Yep.
If you're avoiding carbs and starches, are there alternative ways to enjoy curry instead of naan or rice?
The curry, honestly, is like a stew. You don't necessarily need anything with it. It's got, like I said, it's super flexible. This one we're only doing peas and carrots and spinach. But honestly, well, carbs, you got potatoes again. But you could really put some summer squash or aubergines in there. You could put eggplant. I would say bulk it up with the veg if you don't want the carbs. There we go.
She also says, thank you for the raw meat cutting board tip. She didn't know that.
Yeah, we throw ours in the dishwasher, which is extremely hot. You're welcome, by the way. So it should be killing off all that up, but the wood is going to soak that up. So, we clean our wood board and we, use salt and oil and things like that, but you're never sure that you're getting rid of all that bacteria. Alright, we're going to get this chicken out of the way, because next I'm going to take you to the garlic, which we've done before. Kind of moving ahead. This onion's going to go for 5 minutes. Cooking down. I think we've done garlic before. You're going to take the side of your knife, take all this garlic, press down, get it squashed, and that peel should come right off. There's all kinds of little funky tools that you can get that do the same thing, but there's no point. I'm a big fan of not buying tools that only do one thing in the kitchen. Your knife does about 1 million things in the kitchen, including what we just did with that garlic. Why are you going to spend like $10, $12 on a little tube that does what I just did for a knife that you already own? Yeah, I don't know if that answered your carb question. I would just load it up with veg. Like I said, it's a stew. Should be pretty hearty to begin with. Okay. Just going to give this a nice small dice. I like to keep the garlic a little chunkier to taste my garlic. If you want to kind of hide that garlic a little bit, if you've got somebody who's not a huge garlic fan but can tolerate it, get it smaller because then it's going to melt away. Garlic, when it's really small, pretty much just melts in the pan. You don't even know it's there. Okay, there's your garlic. Now, for those of you that are using fresh ginger, that's what this ugly little beast is. Ginger is a root. So what you're going to do is you want a nice, flat, long piece of ginger for this. So we're going to pull off all these nubs. And again, it's a root. That's why it looks like that. So you can just pop all these nubs off. Now, some people use a spoon, go like this, to kind of get this off. See how that works? Kind of peeling off the skin. I personally think it's just as easy, if you're comfortable with your knife, to just make a flat piece like we do with the onion so it's not rocking and rolling around, and just go right down the side and cut it. It's a little wasteful. I mean, you are losing just a touch of ginger there, but it seems so much easier to me. Spoon does work if you're not comfortable with your knife. Safety first. It take another minute to do the spoon, but I'm good with it. As long as you're not cutting yourself. Okay? Smells incredible. Always use fresh if you can. There's nothing wrong with the dried and the ground, but that is going to give you a ton more flavor. And that's why you notice with the ingredients, we're doing 2 to 3 teaspoons if you're using the ground. You're only using 1 teaspoon for the fresh. It's because the fresh is much stronger, much more potent. Okay, let's get this out of here. What we're going to do is we're going to grate this up. This little thing is a box grater. It's going to get a ton of use tonight. You've got 4 different sides. This gives you nice, big, long peels, the single one. Then you get the next one. This is what a lot of people use for cheeses and things like that. Then you got this one, which is a little bit smaller. That's the one we're going to use mostly tonight. And then you've got this. If you're doing like a nutmeg or something like that you want super, super fine, you're going to go with this one. We're going with the one up from that. So again, super big slices. This is kind of like a cheese shred. This is what we're using tonight. And then this is for like spices and things. We're using this tonight because we want this all to dissolve into the sauce. We don't want big chunky pieces. So we're just going to go right there, up and down. I'm using the flat side. You don't want this side. If you went like this, up and down, you're getting long slices. If you're going here, you're getting much smaller pieces. Grind that up. Also, you're going to notice, because it's a root, very fibrous, it's not going to get it all up. You got strings and things here. That's fine. Just ignore that. Keep going. Hopefully, you all have survived Halloween. This is a super healthy dish, but the only thing bad in it, other than the carbs that Quimbell pointed out, is maybe the coconut milk, a little bit of fat, well, a lot of fat in that, excuse me. But the rest of this is vegetables, and it's good for you. This ginger is amazing for you. The garlic is amazing for you. The spinach, obviously, we all know spinach is great. This has got carrots in it. And you're not even going to know that it has carrots in it because we're going to grind it down like this. You're really not even going to know. And there you go. There's your ginger. Nice big pile of ginger. That very little amount of work. And that's way more than we need. But ginger, coriander is going in next as well. The chicken's actually going in next. This onion stewing. We're going to give these onions about another minute. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go in with the chicken. I'm a little ahead of the game on the prep here because these carrots are going to take a lot of time. If you got a question to keep me busy with the carrots, please feel free. Alright, I've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 carrots here. Probably not going to need all of these. It says a cup to a cup and a half. I go heavy. I go a cup and a half. A little break. Indian Pale Ale. Amazing with curry. It's nice, light. Cut that spice. If you don't like the spice, or you're a little spice shy, or you can't take a lot of spice, you're going to want to cut back on that curry that we used tonight. Hubs is not a giant spice fan, but he's fine with the total amount that the recipe calls for. Alright, we're going to go in the chicken now. This is starting to get a little translucent. We saw this last week when we did the mutant brains. Get that chicken right in, and use this knife so we don't have to wash it up again. All the chicken in. Again, nothing else with this for the night. It's got chicken on it. Give that a nice big stir. Really get that coated in the oil. Your onions should be kind of oily still. That's great because you want it with this chicken. Alright, we're going to start grinding. I use the smaller carrots first. We're going to use that exact same size we used on the ginger. And again, don't grate like this because you're going to get longer shreds. You want short shreds with this. So here we go. This is going to take quite a long time. Tenebrae. I'm curious how many of y'all have seen it. I know there's a lot of people out there excited that we're doing Giallo. Giallo is a blast. If you like slasher movies, if you can handle Italian films, this one is dubbed, so you are going to get English tonight. You're not going to have to read subtitles. Thank you, Shudder. If you like slasher movies, this is the way to go, man. Italian Giallo movies are great. They're little mysteries, but they're filled with blood, like we like in the slashers. Some of them are quite nonsensical. Later in the month, or next week, I believe, we're doing Stage Fright. That one is super nonsensical. Bananas, you might say. And I'm just rolled his eyes. But this one is a great one. I started with this one because it's the most palatable for those not familiar with Giallo. It's a great little murder mystery. It's a whodunit. It's got John Saxon from Nightmare on Elm Street and many other movies. Very young, very sexy John Saxon, in my opinion. Of course, takes place in Italy. They don't all take place in Italy. This is a good one. Argento knows what he's doing when it comes to Giallo. Deep Red is another good one. It's not on the playlist for this month, although it's definitely one of my favorite ones, but I've seen it so many times that I think a lot of you have seen Deep Red, so I want to kind of get something different going there. Make sure you're stirring these up. And again, as I always say, little salt and pepper at every step. A little bit though. The curry probably has some salt in it. Alright, keep going. I'm not kidding. I think Rob has some helpers going on, which is smart because this carrot grinding gets a little tedious. How was that hootenanny, by the way? Hope you all liked it. Halloween was the correct guess. Most of us said Halloween. Did not get our Halloween 3. So now we can start guessing on what are we doing for Red Christmas. I personally am praying for Black Christmas during Red Christmas. That'd be amazing. So we're at close to a cup, I think.
Bell says that that's quite the workout with the carrots.
It's definitely the workout with the carrots. It's kind of a pain, but it's totally worth it. It gives it this nice, sweet flavor. Yeah, we're at about a cup. Now we just need the half. Keep going. Our chicken is doing really well. This next step is where you're really going to smell deliciousness coming up. You noticed I'm throwing these out when I hit a little nub. Very last thing you want to do is run your finger across the grater. It's not worth it. Eat the bite of carrot if you want. Not that wasteful. You could do this in a processor. It's just noisy. And like you said, it's a workout. Alright, this chicken is starting to look cooked on almost all the sides. So we're very close. Close here. So as you can see, we're only using 4 of the carrots. I said I had 8. Oh, and I didn't talk about it. You don't need to peel these, obviously. Getting small enough, there's nothing to worry about here. If you got nice fresh carrots, they should stay nice and firm while you're doing it. That's a little bit. There we go. There's your carrots. And that's it for the hard parts. Just clean hands. Alright, next we are throwing in the delicious smelling parts. In is going your coriander, which smells amazing. Coriander, if you didn't know, is a cilantro seeds. Also going in is our ginger and all that garlic. So now you should be smelling yum. At this point, get that nice and stirred around. And there you go. There's that smell. It smells so good. This really is a good, easy dish. And like I said, aubergine, you can do summer squash, you could do mushrooms, maybe at the very, very end. Broccoli, yes. Cauliflower, for sure. Cauliflower curry is definitely something you will find in England and India. That eggplant, I think you see a lot. Any kind of veg that you like, really. I do put potatoes in it, but you try to stay away from the starch, obviously not the potatoes. All right. Man, does that smell good. Like I said, the hard part's over. This is just the good smell stuff. So we're going to just go for a minute or two. So the spices are getting kind of toasted is what's going on. Your pan should be looking drier at this point. Cheers again. Next, we are going to go in with the coconut milk, the carrots, the curry paste, salt and pepper, and a little bit of water. This is where the sauce is coming in. Just one more minute. I think we're doing good. Just a couple more minutes and we're almost done. The recipe is easy, easy peasy. One pan, very little cleanup, which makes Hubs happy. Again, if you got any questions, let me know. I'll answer your Giallo questions, your cooking questions. Doesn't even have to be about what we're cooking right now. Also, before I forget, I've decided December is going to be Mutant Family Choice. So not only are you going to get to pick the recipe, but you are going to pick the movie that goes with it. So start thinking about what you want to see me make, as long as it can be done in about 45 minutes, and there's a good horror movie that goes with it, preferably on Shudder, so we can keep everybody on track. It might get your pick. Alright, next in, all that coconut milk. Nice and thick. This is light coconut milk. You can get whole coconut milk that is really, really thick. If you do that, that's fine. It's kind of the exact same thing as getting whole milk versus 2% or skim. Light is fine with me. But again, have at it. It's just going to be richer and taste, better. In with the curry. This is going to smell incredible when you get this in the pan. All that in there, and in with the carrots. captures all that color. Now this has a lot of carrots in it. Typically curries are yellow. There is a red curry, and I'm actually using a red curry paste. And this is going to seem really red, but that's because of the carrots. But again, carrots give it such a sweet, amazing flavor and add such a good health benefit that why wouldn't you add it? And we all got bellies filled with remnants of 31 days of Halloween candy, so I thought we'd go a little healthy with some veg to kind of perk our systems back up. All the spice. Let's hit it with just a touch of salt and pepper. Again, just a touch. Oh man. How beautiful that is. So pretty. Curries really are beautiful. All in there. What's happening is those carrots are starting to disintegrate. Smells amazing. Okay, let's get that salt and pepper in. Almost done, y'all. Almost food time. I'm starving. Also, let me know what you think of this later time. I heard from some of the West Coasters that there's absolutely no way they can make the earlier show. I'm trying to get as many people involved as possible. Get those limes cut in half. You're going to need a fork as well. Just going to give this 2 minutes to kind of cook down. Heating up. See the steam coming out of there. It's getting nice and thick. We're also going to add in this. Now, you don't have to use the whole half cup. Mine's a little thick. Wants to have the consistency of like a beef stew. So you want a little bit of liquid in there. And it's also going to cook for a couple more minutes. So that's your call. I'm going to go just a touch more. Also keep in mind, all that spinach is going to give off some liquid. So here's kind of where I'm at. Okay. Did you see that? Great. Any questions, anybody? Hopefully you're all keeping up. About 25 minutes into this dish and we're almost done. Alright, spinach, lime juice, peas. Yes, we are going to get all this spinach in here. It's a ton of spinach. It looks like a ton of spinach. All this spinach is, if you know, any kind of leaf with a plant, all it is water. So this is going to, let's go about half. Give it a nice stir. Push it down in there. The minute it hits that heat, it immediately starts wilting down. If you've ever gone to a steakhouse and you've already paid $25, $30 for a steak, and then they're going to charge you another $5 or $6 for spinach, and you're like, why? How can you possibly be? That's because it takes a lot of spinach to give you that little tiny portion. It just cooks down and withers down to nothing. We have spinach all the time, which is a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper as a side dish, and we buy this giant thing, and the two of us have very little spinach. We're still getting all those vitamins and everything, but okay, a little bit more. Let's put that piece. It's all cooking in. And while we're doing this, we're also going to get this lime. It's a good way to squeeze a lime. Squeeze it first, and then take the fork, stick it in there, really twist it along. See how that juice comes out? There we go. It's a juicy one. Let's do one more half and I think we're good.
Mutant Noah says Popeye.
Who does?
Mutant NOA 100.
Yep. Welcome. I'm glad you found us. Hopefully you found the movie. I know it's harder over there, overseas, sometimes to find these movies. I'm trying to stick with Shudder for you guys. Alright. A little bit more here. Get this cooked in. I think that's about all we're going to do. You can kind of tell where you're at. There we go. Get that cooking in. Cooking down. Trust me, it's going to go down. Keep stirring it in. It's almost like folding like we did with the mini chocolate mousse. Scoop it up from the bottom. Get that hot stuff up over top of that spinach. It's cooking it down. Loosening up that sauce. Spinach is almost done. And next we're going to go in peas. We're done. A little bit more stirring, getting the sides completely messy. Not going to be the prettiest pan in the world, but it's going to be worth it for this taste. Look at that, see? It's all done. Alright, peas are going in. These are just frozen peas. Right in. Any of this, like I said, the curry is super flexible, so a little more, a little less, take something out, add something else in. Really do what you like. That's how cooking is. Baking is a science. Baking has chemical reactions. Baking has specific things that need to happen to make your dish right. Cooking is not that way. Add what you like. Add more of what you like. Take away something you don't like. It's really not gonna, it's gonna change a dish, but it's gonna be a dish that you enjoy. And ultimately, that's the whole point. So, alright. Peas. And finally, we are going to, let me give this one more minute here. Last of the spinach down. See, I told you that spinach is all cooked down. Okay, let's get the rest of this out of here. Pour it a quick wipe. Because we are at that time, get to ladle it up. Last thing we're going to do, give it a little taste. See how we are with salt and pepper and curry. A little bit more salt. But lime really sings in this dish. Taste it. Tastes great. And final thing, 1 to 2 tablespoons, brown sugar. I use dark brown sugar. Dark brown sugar has more molasses in it than the light brown sugar. Sweetness is going to cut through on that curry. If you try it and it's not quite spicy enough for you, throw in a little more curry powder. That's fine. This brown sugar is going to cut that spiciness a little bit. Alright. Get that nice and stirred around there. This is spicy enough for me. I could go spicier. Spicy enough for Hubs. And for the candy bellies. Don't need anybody getting sick during today break because there's lots of blood. Did I mention that? Alright. That's it. Push those bowls. Let's get that rice. Thanks, Hubs. We got some, I use jasmine rice. Jasmine rice has a nice floral little scent to it. This is your basil. I'm not even cutting it. I took the big stems off. We've talked about that before. All I'm going to do is twist and pull. Twist and pull. You got nice little basil shreds. That in there, the basil. If you don't like basil, you can use coriander or cilantro. Hubs is not a cilantro fan, so we're using the basil. One more stir. Go. Man, that looks good. Hope y'all enjoy this curry. For those of you who have never had a curry, enjoy your first curry. For those of you who have had curry, I hope this lives up to what you've had before. Alright, we need, I'm going to use this spoon, put just a little bit of jasmine rice in the bottom of that bowl. Delicious. So good. So yellow. Oh, by the way, yellow. Why yellow? Giallo is actually means yellow in Italian. And all of these Giallo movies are based off of a Giallo series of books of murder mysteries, and their covers were yellow. So that's where Daddyman's going with the yellow. That's what Giallo means, yellow. That's why all the dishes this month are yellow. There's your curry. I hope you enjoy it. Please retweet pictures or tweet pictures if you cooked along with me. I want to see them. Enjoy your dinner. We will see you in 20 minutes on Shudder for Dario Argento's Tenebrae. Please make sure that you use the hashtag Tenebrae. It is Tenebrae. Use the hashtag Mutant Cafe and use the hashtag Mutant Family. I will see you again in 20 minutes for Tenebrae, tweet along, and I will see you next week at the exact same time when we will be making an unbelievable, simple, and delicious, taste-tested, trust me, banana pudding, and we will be watching the absolutely banana Giallo movie, Stage Fright from 1988, I believe. There's a couple different versions. Make sure you're getting the right one, the one that's on Shudder, the one that has an owl on the cover. Thank you so much for joining us again this week. I will see you in 20 minutes for Tenebrae. Enjoy your curry.